Hello, hello. Thank you so much for coming to see me. I really appreciate it, especially over a lunchtime, and especially whilst John Harvey's speaking, because he's a bit of a rock star, so I appreciate it. A bit of housekeeping to begin with. Is anyone here for a talk on artificial insemination for SMEs? Thank God. That was going to be an awkward one. So, when it comes to AI, I have noticed a common theme when speaking with probably now thousands of small business owners, that there's this problem of where do you even start? So, sorry for the audience participation, but has anyone at any point felt like there's too many tools out there, there's so much information out there that you just don't know where to begin? Yeah, it's definitely not uncommon. But a bit about me to begin with. So, I'm probably not your usual tech founder, a 5'4" girl that still gets ID'd for super glue sometimes. But my journey is a bit different. I got into sort of AI and the idea of the future in my teens, and obviously I've got a lot cooler since then, but I'm still absolutely fascinated by the topic. So I was working in IT, and there was a lot of people asking, sort of, do we need to be looking at AI in our business? Is it relevant to us? And if so, how do we begin? Because there was the sort of big enterprise clients and the consultancies asking for loads of money to find out how to use AI, or you have the tools that, let's just say, they aren't as good as they say they are, and they're not as helpful for business processes. So that's when I realised I wasn't going to be a little cog in a big AI machine. I'll be on the ground helping small businesses around the local area and help them actually use AI. And actually genuinely creating life-changing opportunities for founders by accessing this level of growth that has just never been seen before. And to say that I'm changing lives is a bit mad, but hear me out. So businesses that I work with have increased outputs whilst maintaining low overhead costs because they're not having to hire too many more staff, so their profit margins are growing. And that's how you get fast growth. And a fast-growing business is a very, very happy founder. But there is an elephant in the room. There is reasons that people aren't using AI, I am fully aware. If it was that easy, everyone would be doing it. So let's look at the misconceptions and reasons that people may not use AI, and I'll try and help you through those hurdles. So it costs too much money. This is a big misconception. Despite what you might see out on the news, AI isn't actually as expensive as it may seem. Even though they're investing billions of pounds into data centres, it costs very little to actually use the tiny bit of data centre that you need. But I'll go a bit more into costs later. You've got the issue or the worry that your team won't know how to use it. Well, when you use AI in your back-end processes, actually it means that your team don't have to use as much software. It's not about throwing more software at them, not telling them, use these 10 tools. It's about stripping it back, making their lives easier. Then you have the issue of there's so many tools out there, I don't know where to begin, and that's why I'm here. And then you have the fear of AI, which I can understand, but again, that's something we'll cover. But a bit of a side note. The average business owner of a small to medium-sized business spends about 17 hours per week on admin tasks. Now, at the going rate, I don't know how much you value yourself, but on the going rate, that's about £30,000 a year. Now, that's quite a lot of money to not spend just because you're scared of AI. I don't know about you, but that seems pretty crazy to me. So here's a quote I love. The future is already here, it's just not very evenly distributed. And that's extremely apt for AI, because I would guess around 80% of jobs in the market right now could probably be done by the AI technology. However, the uptake just isn't there. It takes a longer time. we've at least got another 5 years before this shift really starts to become apparent. So I was thinking, we have small to medium-sized businesses here and we have the technology here. What on earth is causing this gap? And I think the hurdle that most small businesses are stuck on is understanding what AI can actually do and what the capabilities are. And I'm trying to make that as simple as possible. So breaking it down into text, images, and data. So when it comes to text, you're looking at anything you read or write. So who here, as part of their role or their job, writes long-form documents, reports, scopes, proposals, those sorts of really fun things? And who here writes and reads emails? If anyone's not got your hand up, I would love to know what your job is because I really want it. And then, so when it comes to text, this is natural language processes, and this is ChatGPT essentially as a way of looking at it. But the text you use every day in your business, these writing of scopes, these emails, putting information into your systems, into your CRMs, that's definitely something that can be looked at when it comes to AI. Images. So if we split that into two, you have images of documents. So you've got PDFs and you've got receipts, POs, all of those things that are used every day in your business. And using OCR technology, which has been around 10 years but is now cheaper than ever, you can extract the text out of those documents and put them into your system automatically. And that costs less than a penny, probably less than 0.01p to do that with a document. That's crazy, considering that would probably take, each receipt would take about 5 minutes for a person to manually input. And then you've got the other side, which is photographs, which is for the more niche use cases. So imagine you have a lawn mowing business and you're in that sort of industry where as you need to get your quote back as quick as possible, because otherwise you lose the business. So if you had a system that a customer could take a photo and send it to your WhatsApp number or upload it onto your system, you can instantly get a quote, then you're getting business every time without even having to worry about it. So it does come down to more niche use cases, but really look for those opportunities where people are taking photographs, or you have to go to site visits to look at certain things. There's definitely opportunity there. And then data. Whether you think it or not, you are sat on a lot of data. It may be messy, it may not be pretty, but you are sat on data of some sort, and that is useful, because that can be used as your sort of crystal ball for the future when it comes to AI. Imagine you're a software owner, you own a software company. You have so much data on the people that click and what they're doing around your software, what people are doing around your website, you can see. So use that information, see what behaviors people are doing before they churn out of the business. And then you can prevent that. When you see those behaviors happening, the AI can flag it and say, look, this person's going to churn out, let's offer them a discount, etc. You can also use data for personalized email marketing, etc. You have so much data that your company is sitting on. Using it for the right reasons will be super helpful. So I'm going to go into some more use cases that are more exact to talk you through the process of how these happen. So let's say you're an e-commerce company and you sell industrial machinery. And you have emails coming in all day, every day, asking, where's my order? Do you ship to Penzance? Does part X fit with part Y? And typically you'd have someone sit behind a computer and they would be doing that job, answering those emails. And that's exactly the problem that a client came to me with a few months ago. But they just lost their customer service rep, and they were like, it's quite expensive to hire people nowadays, so what should we do? So we implemented an AI system. So the email would come in, and it's categorized by AI. So we train the AI to essentially take the contents of the email and categorize it into refund request, product question, order inquiry, or other. So this can obviously change from business to business. But for this use case, we split it into these four. For a refund request, it would automatically route it to the finance lady. For a product question, it would look up to all of the information on the website and the knowledge base that we had about all of their parts, and it would reply saying with the relevant answer. And then for an order inquiry, it would actually look up to the system. If it was out of stock, it would look up to the supplier system, and then it would draft a response. So one key thing to remember when it comes to email routing is it can be awesome. Email responding and email routing can be super helpful. However, it is important to keep a human in the loop at some point. So the way that we've done it here is we've created a draft, and then the human can just go through and send and check through. As you become more confident in the AI, there may be the ability to let it fully send, but that's up to you. And then the final is other. Sometimes there's edge cases. AI is a people pleaser, even more than me, and it is very keen to give you an answer at some point. But the way that you can train the AI is to make sure that it's very specific, that if it knows that it can't answer the question, then it leaves it for a human to do. You can then build those in, but for the time, it's good to have a human. And here's something we've been working on recently, which is also really exciting and apt across a wide variety of businesses, which is how do we bridge the gap between where the AI-generated content that we see on LinkedIn and really frustrates us all, and spending hours on a LinkedIn post that 5 people see. There's nothing more heartbreaking than me spending an hour making a carousel on LinkedIn and nobody caring. So that's where we thought, how do we bring these two together? So then we created an AI marketing employee that fits in with your processes, so into your Teams, into your Outlook, into your Slack channels, and you can communicate with it any time of day. And it also comes to you daily with the top articles to make sure you're staying on top of it, and if you wanted to write a post about it, you absolutely can. So say the AI comes to you and says, this bit of news has come out about let's say you're in AI, it comes to you about the latest AI technology, and I go, oh, that's an awesome tool. Write a post about that to my LinkedIn. It'll create an infographic, and it'll post it on LinkedIn. The key thing is that it doesn't sound like AI. That's where most people are getting stuck, is it sounds painfully like AI. More people are coming aware of it. It's got the rocket emoji, it's got the dodgy hashtags. The key is training it to sound like you. You've probably written a lot of LinkedIn posts before AI, so it's using all of those to train the model to actually sound like you. Then it can go into your blogs, be an SEO, optimized for SEO, and email as well. And then passing it through a quality assurance agent as well, which makes sure it sounds like your brand voice and it doesn't have all those dodgy AI-isms in it, and then it posts. So that's all well and good if you are a coder. However, most people are not. And that's where there's multiple options for AI integration. That's where you can really get your hands dirty yourself and use no and low code tools to help you build these solutions. So I don't know if you've heard of them, but Zapier, Make, Power Automate, they're all automation solutions. They're essentially drag and drop. So if you want to integrate certain parts of your processes, they have plenty of connectors that connect with your Xero, all sorts of CRMs, all of your systems, your emails, etc. So you can build these yourselves, and that's the best place to start, 100%. If you've got the time, definitely take a bit of time to put together some sort of automation using these tools and see how it goes. They're very, very good for basic automations. The place where it becomes more complex, like that example with the pictures of a garden, that's where custom code comes in handy. So if you ever need any support in having a go at building those low-code automations, give me a shout. I'm more than happy to give you a helping hand, point you in the right direction. But once you get going, you'll be flying. So here's an example of something I did with a low-code tool. So going back to marketing, create every LinkedIn post I created. It would go through a trained ChatGPT model, essentially, and then it would optimize it for LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook, and then post on those, and then update Notion, which is a CRM system. That took me 2 minutes to build, because they have a feature where you can ask AI to build it for you, and me being super keen on getting AI to do as much for me as possible, I asked it, and it built that straight away. So all you need to do is connect it with the API keys, which if you need help with, just give me a shout, I'm more than happy to help. And then you've built an automation within 5 minutes. That's pretty cool, right? So the battle really is, you know the capabilities now. How does that help your business? How do you work out how your business can benefit from this? And that's where, after about a year of working with small businesses, I came up with this idea of AI Smart, which is essentially the framework that you can use to go all the way from your business being in need of AI to having a working AI system. So the first point is assess pain points. See where your bottlenecks are in your business, because sometimes they're not as blaringly obvious as you think they are. So the ways that I would go about this is tracking your time and tracking your energy and tracking your money. Those are the 3 places that you're spending in one sense or another. So do a time report. Get your staff to do a time day. Just see what they're doing in their day. Sit down with them for a day and see what they're doing, or just ask them what's really boring you at the moment. And they won't be scared to tell you a few things, I'm sure. So find out what those pain points really are. You might have them come straight to your mind, or you may have to see where you're spending your time. And then you want to investigate AI suitability. Now that's what we've gone through for the past 5 minutes, these capabilities. And then you're matching them. It's as simple as that. You have your pain, and then you have the capabilities of AI. And it's just matching them together, seeing what can solve what. What do I need to use a low-code tool that uses OpenAI with text to solve my pain point? Potentially. It's all about matching them. Then you implement the solution, so that's using low-code or custom code, whatever works for you. Whatever has the best return on investment is usually a good place to look. And that's a great judge of whether low-code's better or custom code's better. Because generally speaking, low-code has an ongoing subscription model of probably anywhere from £15 to £60 a month. There is free versions, but once you start using them more, get up to about £60 a month. And then the solutions we build have no ongoing costs. So it depends. Then you're monitoring the results. Make sure it's doing the right thing. Don't just build it and leave it. Always make sure it's doing the right thing. Very, very key. Adjust based on feedback. Continue to make sure it's doing the right thing. See how your employees are finding it. See how your customers are finding it. It's usually very positive, but it's always important to check. Reviewing ROI is so key, because sometimes you can end up paying for these low-code tools that cost you £60 a month, and you use it for one process once a month, and you realise you're actually not getting your money's worth out of it. Always check the ROI. Very helpful. And then track and tweak continuously, especially when you're using low-code. There's always new models out. You're changing your business all the time. Business is evolving. Make sure you're tweaking as you go on. So here's some awfully formatted words. Oh, I almost want to skip on from this slide, but let's deal with it. So here are some ideas of where to begin. These are all solutions we've built, and they're all relatively buildable and straightforward for your first step in AI. So email management, as we spoke about, invoice processing, very simple one, very cheap. CRM upkeep, it's boring as. Proposal writing, definitely something that AI can do. I'm not necessarily saying it does all of it. Depending on your business, it can do anywhere from probably 20 to 90% of your proposals or your scopes. Social media, that's what we're working on at the moment, and you can also do with those automations that we spoke about. Customer service questions, as we spoke about earlier, quite nice to get AI involved in that, because you're usually answering the same questions over and over again. And booking in appointments, that back and forth of Does Friday at 2 work? No, Friday at 3 works for me. Oh no, I can't do Friday at 3. I can do Friday at 5. Can you do Friday? No, sorry, I'm out then. Limiting that, because that's no fun for anyone. So you're asking, can AI do it? Look at your bottlenecks, think, can AI do this? And if you don't know, then give me a shout, because I'm always happy to help. If you want to chat, then scan that QR code and then you can just book in a chat with me. My diary's open, so feel free to talk to me and go through some of the ways that your business can become more efficient with AI. I am more than happy to help you with the low-code, no-code tools and advise you on those, and we can build out some things together. I'm more than happy to get started that way. And also, if you come over to my stand 144, sort of by the Keynote Theatre, I've got an excellent view of it, so if you sort of just look at the keynote and look left, you'll see me there, unless I'm getting a coffee and I'm in the queue, then I might be an hour or so. And we've got these guides that go over everything that I've spoken about today and a bit more if it's all gone straight over your head. So if you want to book in a call, there's that QR code, and if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, on your head be it, you can connect with me there. Thank you so much for coming to listen to me. Now go and join the long queue for your lunch. And I will speak to you all soon, hopefully, at stand 144.